So, good morning, ma'am. This is me, Jainishwaran, and we are going to present our mini project for our SAD. And so, our group members will be me, myself, Jainishwaran, Yamuna Devi, Piravin, and Sanjana. Before entering into the first question, let's look at some slight introduction about this presentation. So we can know that in this modern era, everywhere you go, there's going to be technology. Everything you touch, everything you see, everything you experience is going to be based on technology, or at least they're going to be somehow related to technology. In simple word, we can say that technology is actually taking over this entire world. So the Sofix Solution Technology company is also planning to improve themselves in terms of technology. Like how? They are planning to implement in their company a systematic access control system. So, what is systematic access control system? So, and how they're going to implement it? Let's look at it. So, they're going to implement them in the entrance and all restricted access control rooms. So, access control system is basically what? It's just a system where all the access of the company will be controlled. For example, if the access control system is going to be a card system, so whoever has the card, they can enter the company, or they can enter into some restricted rooms where only authorized people can enter. For example, if an unauthorized people is trying to enter without a card, he for sure can't enter the room. Other than card, there's also biometrics, for example, fingerprint and also face ID. So the staffs with an identification of fingerprint and face ID can actually enter the company or some restricted rooms to get access, to gain access to all the data and information of the company. The people who doesn't have that identification of their biometrics systemized in the system, they for sure are not going to be able to enter into the company or the restricted rooms. So, what are the benefits? So, the benefits of applying this access control system in the company is that it makes the data and information of the company to be in a safer hand. Confidential data and information can be kept safe in the company without having the fear of losing them. This access control system helps guard the entire company from being in danger, either for the security of the data in the company. So now I would like to pass it to Yamuna Devi to continue her presentation for question 1.
Okay, thank you so much, Jaya, for passing me. So now I'm going to explain about the question. Sofix Solution Technology Office located at Bayan Baru, Penang is currently planning upgrading its physical access control facilities into a systematic access control system, including all the entrance to Sofix Solution Technology and all restricted access control room. Based on physical access control system, you groups are required to prepare system analysis for the project with below details key deliverables. So the first question is define minimum three different user category for the system with explanation. So the first user category is employees. Employees are the individual who will be working in Sofix solution technology. They are the one who will be using systematic access control system to enter their workplace and the restricted area in their workplace. By upgrading the control system to enter all entrance and all restricted access control rooms from physical to systematic access, the employees have to enter through their workplace with fingerprint access, the identity scanning card or PIN number to their room. It is easier for managers and employers to restrict employees from being workplace during non-working hours. For example, employees or managers may want to prevent employees who is currently working in the company from working beyond their usual shift to avoid unplanned overtime hours. So they can see their in and out activities to see which employees is currently still in workplace to work. So the second user category is visitors. Visitors is a person who is not a worker but visits Sofix solution system technology. They can be more harmful by entering restricted area easily if it has physical access control facilities. By upgrading the systematic access control system, visitors who is not authorized to enter this area will not enter easily without the staff help. This will help to keep the company details secure and no trespassing happen. So the third user category is manager. Manager is the leader like employees in the presence of the employees. Manager need to watch the company details is well guarded and be able to keep information of the employees activity. By upgrading to system access control, every person who enter the entrance, their working time, and everyone who enter the restricted area will be recorded. It will be easier for them to track the employees if any problem arises. Managers may also choose restrict employees from being at the workplace during non-working hours in order to help protect confidential information and in order to help prevent theft. So now I'm going to explain about define five main features menu or process for the system with explanation. So first is authentication. To upgrade the access system to systematic, this feature is required. This feature is to verify the individual who is authorized to enter specific restricted area. This feature can be used in many systems such as ID scanner, biometric scanner, face scanner, and more. It is created to have layered defense that makes it more difficult for unauthorized person to access a target, such a physical location like the restricted area in the workplace. So second is access control policies. This feature is a high level requirement that specify how access is managed and how may access certain restricted area in the company. It relies on techniques like authentication and authorization which verify the identity of the user and the authorization they have in the company. Access control is an accessual element security that determines who is allowed to access certain data, apps, and resources and in what circumstance. In other words, they let the right people in and keep the wrong people out. Third is administration. The security system administrator is an expert in securing the computer system of a company. This feature is able to access by authorized party to plan, supervise, and control the management and maintenance of the access control system. This is useful for the system remains up to date and functional. From managing the in and out activities of the employees, administration process help business make sure everything is running smoothly. So fourth is alerting. An alerting system is a platform you can use to centralize alert from various tools and systems and distribute those alerts to professionals who can remedy the incident or the wider business ecosystem that need to be informed. This feature able to notify the rightful employees if any suspicious activity is detected. It can send alert by SMS, email, alarm, and more. This useful feature can prevent the company from any data leakage or threat that can bring harm to the company. So the fifth is event logging. This feature is can be used to track and troubleshoot the system issues, monitor for security threat, monitor employee access, denied access attempt, and comply with regulatory requirements. It is controlled by the adult policy settings. Security teams use security event logs to spot abnormal activities that might indicate a security breach. It is also useful to keep record of every user access attempts to every area. So I will pass question 3 to another members. Thank you.
Thank you, Yamuna. Hi, I'm Praveen. Now let's continue with question 3. That is, design a functional decomposition diagram FDD for our system. So this is our FDD diagram for the system, that is physical access control system. So there are totally five, let's call it menus for our system. First one would be authentication, and the second one is access control policies. The third one is administration, and the fourth one is alerting, and the fifth one would be event logging. So let's look at the first menu, that is on the left side. So for the authentication, there are three levels. For each of the menus, there are three levels for the functional decomposition diagram. So first up, for the authentication, we have ID scanner, biometric scanner, and face scanner. There are actually more, but we only selected three features to put it in the functional decomposition diagram. So first one would be ID scanner, and the second one would be biometric scanner. The third one would be face scanner. So these are very crucial for our process or systems authentication method. So second one, access control policies. So access control policies, these are a feature that is high level requirement that specifies how access is managed and who may access to certain restricted area. So for that, we have used access management control and authentication method, and finally authorization method to prevent unauthorized users to enter the restriction area and stuff. So let's move on to our third one, that is administration menu. For administration menu, we have in and out activities, maintenance, and also administration processes. So this one would be for the organization to control or to be more precise to administrate the company's activities, and yeah, that's the thing. Now fourth one is alerting. When we heard the message alerting, it's like to give someone the warning or to prevent something before something is happening. For some alerting, we have features like alert messages uh, on the very emergency situations, and email and alarm for some kind of emergency situations. So this will prevent from any disasters to before happen. So the last but not least, the event logging. So event logging is totally like we save our data in the system or any types of procedures to for future use. For example, we have track and troubleshoot system issues, and we also monitor security threats. And the last one would be keep record of the users. So these are the functional decomposition diagram of the physical access control system. Thank you. So now let's move on to our fourth question. That would be the context diagram. So this is our context diagram of the system. So this context diagram offers a general summary of the system and its external entities. But this context diagram does not delve into specific details regarding the inner components and operations of the system. So the context diagram illustrates the system architecture where the physical access control system serves as the primary component of the system. This system interacts with two external entities, that is the user interface and the door control at the above. The user interface plays a crucial role in the engaging with the user and collecting authentication informations such as the ID scanner and biometric scanner. And the authentication information provided by the user is then transmitted to the physical access control system for processing. So this is where all the processing will be occur. After that, once the information is authenticated, the physical access control system communicates with the door control to grant or deny access to the building. So the door control, being another external entity, is responsible for managing physical access to the building by unlocking and locking the doors. The system architecture consists of three components, where physical access control system interacts with the user interface and door control to regulate the access of the building. So this is all about the context diagram for the system. Thank you.
So now I am going to present the question 5 for this mini project, and it is about designing a data flow diagram, DFD level 0 diagram for a system, and providing some explanations. So below is the DFD level 0 diagram that I have created for a Sophic solution technology. You can clearly see there are some processes, external entities, data flows, and data stores in this DFD level 0 diagram. So now I would like to give some explanations for this question 5, for especially for this DFD level 0 diagram. So let us start from the staff. So we can clearly see that the staff is actually either can scan the card, or they can actually do the biometric scan to get the access. So let's start up with the scan card. And before that, we can clearly see that this is a level 0 diagram because all the processes are being 1.0, 2.0 until 5.0. So now let's start it up with the staff. So if the staff is actually scanning the card, it will actually go through the process of access card verification. So over there, the card will be accessed and it will be verified whether the access is okay or not. So if the access is okay, it will actually send the card details to the staff information. So in the staff information data store is the place where all the information about the staff will be stored. So from there, the card details will be sent to the staff access identification. So before moving on, let's go to another path where the staff is actually using the biometric scan. So if the staff uses biometric scan, for example, fingerprint or face ID, so it will actually go to the process of biometric verification. And for the biometric verification, it sends the staff's biometric to the biometric information. So the biometric information data store is the place where all the information of the biometrics of all the staff will be stored over there. And so the biometric information will actually get the data and then sends the biometric data to the staff access identification. So here we can see that the staff, when either scan the card or the biometric scan, it is actually going to end up going to process 3, which is staff access identification. So staff access identification is the place where the staff will actually be granted for their access or denied. So what if the access is granted? So if the access is granted, that means the staff is working there and he is an authorized person. So if the access is granted, so it will actually go to the door control. If just say the access is denied, it will actually go to the system security where all the security for the system will be stored. Security informations will be stored in the system security data store. So from there, we can know that the unauthorized access is being done in the staff access identification and it will send information to the security alarm system process. So the security alarm system will actually ring the alarm and the alarm will be and the security alarm will be rang. It's either the access is granted or not. If the access is granted or the access is denied, however, the details will be sent to system record manager. What does the system record manager does? The system record manager sends the records to the manager for him to monitor or stores the record in the system details. System details data store is the place where all the details about the whole system on the Sophic Solution Technology Company will be stored in the system details data store. So this is the explanation about the DFD level 0 diagram that I have created. I think I have also fulfilled all the needs for this DFD level 0 diagram. More details and more information, more explanations. Actually, whatever I have explained, I have also written it down in the next slide for more readable purposes. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Sanjana and my matrix number is 21DDT21F2079. For this presentation, I'm going to present about question 6, which is the DFT level 1 diagram for process 1. Okay, as you can see, this DFT level 1 diagram is based on a security alarm system. Okay, so first we have the security alarm system, and we have the processes, and then we have the entities. So for this security alarm system, we have two, which is the sensor status and the control panel display. So first, it will send information to the control panel display, and it will send the status to the sensor status. And from the sensor status, it will send back the monitor sensors, and for the control panel display, it will send back the commands and data. So from the control panel display, it will send the display information to the alarm control panel. So from the alarm control panel, it will send the controls and will trigger the controls, so it will activate the alarm. For the sensor status, it will also send all the sensors from the security alarm system to the sensors. It will send the display status, and it will also send the sensor data. So this is for question 6, the first diagram. Okay, like I explained just now, this would be the summarized explanation. So this DFD level 1 diagram is based on a security alarm system where the process of this system will be directed into two through the control panel display by sending information, and it will return the commands and data. While for the sensor status, it will send the status and returns the monitor sensors to the system. The sensor status will display the status to the sensors and soon update the status with the census data received. The control panel display will display all of the information through the alarm control panel, which will trigger whether the alarm will be activated or not. So question 6, the second diagram that I created was biometric verification. Like you can see, it's almost similar to the first diagram, but this is on biometric verification, and I will summarize it on the next slide. So for question 6, the second diagram, this DFT level 1 diagram is based on biometric verification, where the process of this system will be directed into two through the fingerprint scanner by sending status, and it will return the fingerprint enrollment, while for the Face ID scanner, it will send information and returns with the Face ID enrollment. The face sensors will display the Face ID matches to the Face ID scanner and soon verify the Face ID so that the system will be disarmed. For the fingerprint scanner will display all the fingerprint matches so that it can verify the fingerprint, and once that is done, the system will be finally unlocked. So as you can see, this is the summarification of the slide of the DFT level 1 diagram based on biometric verification. You can refer this and refer the summary so you can get an idea on what the diagram is about. Thank you.
So now the last part of our presentation, that would be the conclusion. So in conclusion, the system development lifecycle, that is the SDLC, is structured approach utilized to design, develop, and maintain information systems. So, what is it all about? Let me summarize this in a short way. So, the physical access control system is an instance of a system that demands careful planning and design due to its vital security role. Kan? The functional decomposition diagram is an instrument used in the SDLC, that is the system development lifecycle analysis space, to divide the system into smaller and more controllable components. So after that, we went to the context diagram. The context diagram is a high-level overview of the system that displays the external entities and process that interact with it. And of course, the let's talk about the data flow diagram. The data flow diagram level 0 is the initial comprehensive view of the system, which shows the essential processes and data flow. And it is also helps to identify the external entities and also the processes and data stores that created in the system. So this is all involved in the data flow diagram. So and yeah, about the DFD1 level 1 is more precise view of the system that demonstrates the internal processes and data flows of the specific processes. So this is all about the data flow diagram of level 0 is the overview of the system. But the data flow diagram level 1 and level 2 is like a precise view of the system to see what is happening inside there. So, when the developing the physical access control system, these techniques helped identify the significant components of the system and also provided a high-level detailed view of the system processes in data flows. So, by doing this, we results in a well-organized and secure system. So, this system analysis is very crucial for every project or works as we did in the physical access control system. So that's all from us. Thank you.